Primary economic activities. Primary economic activities are those that harvest or extract something from the earth. These activities typically characterized with production of basic foodstuff and raw materials. The major primary economic activities are 1. Hunting and gathering. 2. Agriculture. 3. Fishery. 4. Mining. 5. Forestry. 1. Hunting and gathering. Hunting and gathering is a type of primitive economic activity which involves killing of wild animals and collecting of wild fruits for living. It was humanity's first and most successful adaptation, occupying at least 90% of human history. Gathering economies often involve tribal societies in which individuals or single families possess a strong recognition of territoriality, whereas hunting is primarily a communal activity, often requiring planned large-scale expeditions and a very well-developed division of labor. Hunting and gathering were the most important practices of primitive society to acquire means of subsistence before the domestication of plants and animals or before the invention of agriculture. Even after the development of agriculture, hunting and gathering were also contributing significantly to the human food supply. The earliest hunting tools included rocks, spears, bow and arrows. Hunting and gathering societies. At present, primitive hunting and gathering are practiced predominantly by the societies in hostile climatic regions. It prevails now only in some parts of the extremely hot and cold areas of the globe. Currently, peoples whose livelihood depends on primitive type of hunting and gathering includes Eskimos in subarctic forest of Canada and Siberia, Lapps in the Scandinavian cold area, Bushmen in the Kalahari Desert of Namibia and Botswana, Aborigines in Australia. 2. Agriculture. Definition and evolution. Agriculture is defined as the purposeful growing of crops and tending of livestock, whether for the subsistence of the producers or for sale or exchange. It has replaced hunting and gathering as economically the most significant of the primary activities. Viewed in the perspective of total human history, farming is a recent innovation and its beginnings date back to about 12,000 years ago around the Mesopotamia area. First agricultural revolution. Passive adaptation to the environment through hunting and gathering was replaced by active utilization of resources, plant and animal domestication, in the surrounding environment. Second agricultural revolution. Tools of agriculture were modified, methods of soil preparation, fertilization, crop care and harvesting improved, organization of agriculture, food storage and distribution were made more efficiently. Third agricultural revolution, Green Revolution. New high-yielding varieties of grain and other crops were developed in laboratories by modern technologies of genetic engineering, biotechnology. Classification of agriculture. Agricultural systems can be classified based on crop and livestock combinations, arable, pastoral and mixed. Methods employed, traditional and modern. Intensity of use of factors of production, intensive and extensive. Methods of disposal of farm products, subsistence and commercial. Arable, pastoral and mixed farming. 1. Arable farming is a farming system that concentrated on the growing of crops, usually on flat areas where soils are of higher quality. 2. Pastoral farming refers to the raising of animals, especially on areas that are less favorable to arable farming, as is the case in colder, wetter, steeper, and higher lands. 3. Mixed farming is the growing of crops and the rearing of animals simultaneously. This reduces the risks of relying up on a crop or animal, thereby reducing food shortage. B. Subsistence and commercial agriculture. 1. Subsistence agriculture. Subsistence agriculture is a type of agriculture where households consume their own product with some surplus that may be sold locally to provide cash to meet other household needs. The main priority of subsistence farmers is self-survival by growing/rearing a wide range of crops/animals. 2. Commercial agriculture. Commercial agriculture is the other type of agriculture in which farming is essentially geared to production for sale on the market. Commercial farming takes place either on a large, profit-making scale or on small holdings. C. Shifting and sedentary farming. 1. Shifting agriculture occurs where there are low population densities and a limited demand for food, where soils are poor and become exhausted after very few years of cultivation, or where there is a seasonal movement of animals in search of pasture. 2. Sedentary farming occurs whereby farmers remain in one place to look after their crops and rear animals. D. Intensive and extensive farming. 1. Extensive farming occurs when the amount of labor and capital are small in relation to the area being farmed, or when the amount of labor is still limited but the input of capital may be high. Yield per unit area is also low, but total output can be high because of very large landholding. Farmers concentrate on keeping cost per unit area as low as possible. 2. Intensive farming occurs when high levels of inputs, labor and capital, are applied per unit of area with the intention to achieve high yields per unit area where labor productivity is high. Characteristics of agriculture. A. Size of land area required for operation. Agriculture is practiced by huge number of separate farming enterprises which range in size from farms that cover thousands of hectares to small subsistence holdings of a hectare or less. B. Agricultural self-sufficiency. Agriculture enables farmers to attain self-sufficiency. Most smallholder farmers are to some degree self-sufficient in the sense that they retain a part of what they produce and use it in their own households and therefore are insulated from world market fluctuations. C. Flexibility of agriculture. Agricultural production is not usually tied to one particular commodity, and most farmers can change their production attempt from one agricultural product to another with little capital investment, little cost of transference, and limited time. D. Joint production. Most farmers produce more than one agricultural product and practice crop farming along with animal rearing, whereby each is dependent on the other. For example, animals provide manure, fertilizer, for crops and crops provide fodder for the animals. E. Seasonal production and much dependence on physical environment. Although one cannot say that agriculture is controlled solely by physical conditions, it must be recognized that environmental factors exert a major influence on determining the type of farming practiced in an area. In most cases, agricultural production is of seasonal character, unlike manufacturing or commercial activities. Factors affecting agriculture. Agriculture is influenced by a diverse array of physical and human constraints. Physical factors include climate, soil, altitude, slope angle and aspect. B. Human factors include land tenure, farm size and fragmentation, transport and markets, capital and technology, government.